That's right. If it's Monday, you know it's KTN Job Center. And what we try to do here every Monday is to have forward-looking conversations about youth unemployment, about job creation in this country, and to help you, the job seeker, move a little bit closer to your dream job. Now, a lot of people, the World Cup just came last month, and we saw a lot of reaction. We saw a lot of Kenyans celebrate the young Origi. But the question is, can you make sport your career? Can you make something out of it? And as always, as tradition, we have the job seeker segment that comes before the interview. And today on the job seeker, it is not a person, it is an embodiment of young people who are saying, I have a dream, I want to be a sports person, can I do that? So today's job seeker will take us to Sadili Oval, which is an academy here in Nairobi. But before that, I'm joined in studio by a man who has done a lot in trying to develop youth talent, and especially in soccer. I'm talking about one of the founders of Ujuzi Soccer, that is Paul Olungai. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Paul, a lot of excitement, of course, has been created by the idea that sports can be something taken seriously. Sports can be a serious profession. From where you sit and what you do every day, how true is this?
It's very true. I'll just start with the KTN or a standard newspaper. They have sports writers. They have sports editors. From there, I can take you to sports clubs where we have gyms where people are trying to ensure that their bodies are fit. From there, I'll take you to football clubs where we have football managers, football coaches. These are all sports-related careers. And therefore, those who feel and think that sports cannot be taken seriously are not really living in the world today. Sports is a multinational and multi-billion dollar industry, not only in Africa but also in Europe. We have quite a number of our players. There's Mariga, there's Oliech, there's Wanyama, who are playing in Europe and actually bringing home a lot of dollars. So,
Paul, let me just cut you short and just for the sake of our viewers, there are lots of people who are wondering, so where do we start this, right? And I just want to put our focus to a group of young people or an institution that is trying to nurture that. I'm talking about the Sadili Oval Sports Academy here in Nairobi. And let's just take a look at this. Paul, the pictures that we've been seeing on our screens are pictures that you're very familiar with, a lot of activity, a lot of young blood training. But Paul, we are coming from a time where sports was for either of two groups. Either you didn't do so well in school, or you're privileged to have gone to the right school with the right kind of facilities. However, there's a bunch of young people who are saying, I don't belong in those two groups, but I want to excel in sports. I want to have a career in sports.
Well, what I've seen actually is looks like a school with all sports, football, basketball, swimming, and all that. It is true that people thought that for you to excel in sports, you just have to fail. I have to also emphasize the fact that one has to study hard. You have to have good grades because they open your doors. But there are many sports clubs and there are many sports youth organizations which are offering not all sports like we've seen there, but specializing in either football or basketball or swimming, which the youth can actually join during the holidays or during the weekends, so that they can actually promote and they can be nurtured.
Well, let's focus a little bit on soccer. football, if you like. That's what they call it here. And this is something that you do every day, being part of the people that run the Ujuzi Soccer Academy. A lot has been said that we need to start early. We need to start early in training our young people to get into sports and whatnot. Take us through what goes in developing a professional sports person.
Well, we in Ujuzi we admit people are boys and girls who are 5 years and above. Mm-hmm. As we get them, we try them out and find the strength they have and the weaknesses where we work on. And we put them in age groups. Right. Those who are 5 to 7 years, we put them in one group. Mm-hmm. 8 to 10 years, just like that, all the way to the team that we have in the county league. Mm-hmm. We train them all aspects of football, all aspects of fitness, from flexibility to agility to endurance, and we engage them in football matches, fixtures, and then we also engage them in tournaments for them to have a confidence. Then we expose them. We expose them either locally here, where we organize tournaments, or we take them to tournaments in different parts of Nairobi. Right. And also those who have the ability and capable, we take them to Europe.
And Paul, there's pictures on the side of our screen right now, pictures coming from your academy, the Ujuzi Soccer. Do we have success stories coming from Kenya? Do we have young Kenyans who took part in your academy or a similar institution and success stories out there?
Well, what you see are pictures when we participated in Sweden Gothia Cup, and Portugal Mundialito, Costa da Rauda in Spain, and Dana Cup in Denmark. Those are the pictures you're seeing in green. These are 12 years and below, I think about 6 years ago. That's Tony Nyauga, Nyauga's son. We have success stories. Tony Nyauga is in Bolton, Honduras, as we speak, under 18. He's doing his university studies there. Bolton Wanderers. We have Louis Misiko in Nice, France. We have Ayub Timbe, who is playing for Harambee Stars, scored a goal in Comoros, and is in Genk. So we have success stories. We have quite a number of them. We have Sofapaka, we had Humphrey Mieno, who was in Sofapaka, went to Tanzania and came back. So we have success stories.
Is it just for privileged kids who go to good schools, or the parents can get them to an academy like yours?
No, we are open to anybody who is willing to come and obey our rules and enjoy our structures.
Right.
Yes.
What do you think are some of the biggest challenges facing young people who want to be professional sports people, not just soccer, but any other field that they may want to choose?
I think the parental stigma and the parental attitude that sports is not for those who have brains. That's number one. Number two, we don't have safe facilities. One has to partner with clubs with good facilities, safe, good fields. The old traditional grounds which we had in the 60s and 70s when I grew up, let's say Ziwani or Jericho or Kileleshwa, have all gone. And even if they are there, they're not safe, they're not maintained. So for us to play good football, as you see, Sadil Oval, they have facilities. And if the children do not have those facilities around them, then those are big challenges and setbacks.
Paul, what are the opportunities that lie in this sector that can be tapped in the immediate term? Opportunities
are there. The children have talent. Children are willing. Kids are willing to play. Kids are not in football. You've seen what our runners can do. They are running. They are bringing fame to our country. So the opportunities are there. All you have to do is to tap them at early stage, rather than waiting until they are too old to be tapped.
Right. Well, I know our time is up, but for those of us who are watching, you must not leave without a comment. What is wrong with Kenyan football? If you were to suggest in less than 30 seconds, what would you...
You cannot have a university without a primary school. You cannot have a secondary school without a primary school. You must have those structures. You must have kindergarten, you must have primary school, you must have secondary school, you must have high school, then you must have a university. You cannot have masters and you don't have first degree. So we cannot have Harambee Stars, we cannot have Gor Mahia, and there are no structures which support well-organized structures all over the country. And that's actually where we fail, because we tend to believe that our national body, and they're working under a lot of constraint and a lot of, I don't blame them fully, but those are the things. If I was told, I would actually ban Harambee Stars for 5 years and go down and have structures from each and every city, each and every county, and nurture talent and then bring them up. When you have good players, also you need a good coach, but when you have good players, you're done.
Right. A lot of criticism comes for people like you who manage, and people are saying, well, we have good talent, but the agencies and the managers are not good, and they're exploiting these young people. What do you say to that as we wind up?
Well, there's nothing for free.
Right.
There's nothing for free. You're not sitting here for free.
Right.
For you to get a service or any goods, you have to pay for it. And there's no way, for example, you can have a club like that and not buy footballs, not buy cones, not have transport, not market. You must have something. You must have some fee for a service.
Right.
And it's the government which can actually give those services free. And even if the government gives them free, they've gotten money from somewhere.
Correct.
So those who are actually coming out like Sadili, well, they're doing a good job, and it's not free. You're not going to go there and swim for free. That swimming pool has chlorine has to be bought, the water has to be, somebody has to, everything. There's nothing for free.
Nothing for free.
Nothing for free.
But what you're saying is that there is hope in the future of sports in this country.
A lot of hope, but we are working through some very poor structures.
Right.
The country has not put in structures which are good enough to encourage. Those who come from Mathare, for example, where are the fields for them to play? People can only play in these areas where we have Runda or Parklands because they're clubs.
Great. So we need to invest in that.
Yes.
Paul Olungai, that's a good place to wind up. Thank you for making time to highlight on the potential that is sports as a business. And if you're out there looking to get into sports as your career, then there are opportunities. There's Sadili Sports, there is Ujuzi Soccer, and many others who are institutions that are well-meaning and they want to develop sports in this country. So yes, indeed, sports can be a job. This has been KTN Job Center.